I'm a little bit bummed that Greg didn't stay, because I did want to respond a little bit to his public comment about the board engaging the unions, because I really do feel that more so than any school board since I've worked in TTUSD, I really feel that there's a positive collaborative relationship between the school board, staff, and TTEA. And I'd like to just direct him, first of all, to our collective bargaining agreement that was put together and jointly by the district and our teachers union, that has a whole section on evaluation procedures. And part of that is for temporary teachers or non-tenured teachers, they are evaluated annually. And for tenured teachers, it's every other year. But if you work at a school like I do with Jane Loomis as my principal, she's in my classroom at least 10 times a day maybe. And so even though it may not be a summative evaluation, I am always formatively evaluated daily and sometimes by class. And we sit down in PLCs on Mondays and Fridays. Mondays are our academic PLC, where we discuss each of our students at Sierra High School and how they're achieving academically. And then on Fridays, we sit down and talk about our best, and we get together with our best PLC, which is more focused on behavior and how we can help our students get those behavioral roadblocks out of the way so that the academics can be first and foremost. So I personally like to invite Greg to come to our school and see what we do as far as evaluation of our program, our staff, from the superintendent's goals, the board goals, and how that filters down into a local school, because I think Sierra High is a great model, and that's where I work, and I'm sure that it's the same at other schools across the district. So if you have his contact information, I'd love for you to pass that on to him. I'd love to share that. First of all, the moment everybody's been waiting for. As co-president of TTEA, I'm definitely pleased to announce that we are both the district team and the TTEA negotiations team have reached a tentative agreement. Now it is tentative. There's a few steps that need to go in process before that is ratified as an MOU, part of our contract. Tomorrow, TTEA will be having an all-membership call meeting at Truckee High. That'll be at 4 o'clock in the cafeteria, where we'll be discussing the TA and answering any questions that our members may have. After that, we'll have site meetings on Friday, where teachers can have a little more intimate discussion with, in a smaller group forum, answering questions, and then we'll be taking a vote that Friday and then on through Monday. So we will get those results to you as soon as possible, because I know time is of the essence, and we'd like to get that through. And just personally, and on behalf of the teachers, I just want to thank both teams. I'm not on the negotiating team this year, I was last year, and I really appreciate the relationships that we've built with many of the team members, some sitting in this room, and I do appreciate the collaborative effort that we have, and I know the board is part of that and directing the district team, so thank you. It's been a long road, but I really do appreciate the coming together and working together. That is a real pleasure, so thank you. As you know, the last couple of years, there's been a lot of discussion about education reform, and there's, especially surrounding the reauthorization of ESEA, which is the Elementary Secondary Education Act, otherwise known as No Child Left Behind. That affects a lot of what we do policy-wise from the national level on through state and to us locally. Just in the last year or so, there's been a movement of educators, professionals, professors, people that are saying that the road we're going down is probably not the road we need to go down, basically basing our education off a real testing model that really narrows the curriculum down. And one of those advocates has been Diane Ravitch. You may have read her book. We gave it to the old board, the former board, I should say. Some of them are young. And we are going to get that book as well for our new board. She is a professor at NYU of Education History. And the interesting thing is that she was one of the molders of No Child Left Behind in its current form, in that testing model and AYP and benchmarks and those sorts of things. And about a year and a half ago, she came to the realization that she was wrong. And as a professor, especially at a nationally accredited university, I think that's huge for her to realize that maybe this hasn't worked out the way that everybody had hoped. And she is going to have a national stage tomorrow night on The Daily Show with Jon Stewart. So I'm just announcing that because I think it will be really important to watch. A lot of people get their news from The Daily Show. You know, there's a lot of truth that comes out in that program, and she has been invited to be a guest there. So this discussion is becoming more and more on a national level, and ESEA is up for reauthorization this year. So it's going to be very important for us to be engaged in what's going on in the national level, and for us to really call our state senators and assembly representatives that are in government and let them know how things are working here in Tahoe Truckee. Does No Child Left Behind help us, or is there another program that might really support us in doing what we need to do with our students? On the agenda tonight is the board norms, and I just wanted to ask and let you know, actually, that when we were in discussion with our community members about a year and a half ago, that the community really wants our teachers and the district and the board to really have that collaboration, really what Greg, I think, was getting to, and I think we're there. And so I hope that in passing your board norms and when you're discussing tonight, that just like in my classroom, I make norms that encourage collaboration, that encourage conversation. And then as you're discussing these norms, that you would create norms also that encourage collaboration, that encourage discussion, that encourage participation of all stakeholders in TTUSD. So I just wanted to share that, and I think that would, again, continue to go a long way towards building trust between us, and then also that the community would see that. And again, I just wish Greg would be in some of our discussions over the last year or so, because I think a lot has changed. In the last couple of weeks, you've probably heard about Wisconsin, besides just the cheese and the Packers. Right now, they have a stalemate in their legislative body that's discussing basically what is the role of collective bargaining units and labor unions, and more specifically how it affects us as teachers. And first of all, I just wanted to dispel some myths locally, because every state has different collective bargaining laws. And here in California, we started contributing to retirements and pensions and health benefits a long time ago, where the Wisconsin workers weren't contributing anything, and just recently they did concede and say that they were going to contribute some towards retirement and welfare benefits. For us, we as teachers contribute 8% of our salaries towards our pension, and the district contributes 8.5%. It's kind of a match, and that's taken care of at the state government. This isn't something that is something that's bargained here. That's something that's taken care of on the state level. So I just wanted to say that. And then also, as far as health and welfare benefits, those are bargained here. TTUSD teachers pay anywhere from 35 to 55% of their health benefits. So I also wanted to dispel the myth that maybe we're getting a free ride or we're not paying anything for our health benefits. In addition, last year we signed a zero contract. There were no raises. But health benefits, the costs did go up roughly 12%. So we did absorb that into our compensation. So that's something that we did last year. Just lastly, just again about this discussion with Wisconsin and unions in general, teachers unions are able to join as one voice. And sometimes if you don't have the money, money pays in politics. If you have money, you can run for office, you can have a voice. Teachers, the local working person sometimes doesn't have the amount of money to buy influence and power in Washington, so we can join together as a voice. Here locally, we have 250 teachers. There's 300,000 teachers in California and about 4.5 million across the country. And our unions commit significant time and resources at the local, state, and national level for policy that's supportive of public education. And I think it's important for our board members to know that. So a few examples of what teachers' unions do outside of what everybody thinks of, the money and pensions. Low class sizes, school racial integration, safe schools for our students and workers, kindergarten readiness programs, health and welfare benefits for students that cannot afford it, equitable funding for public education. It's important to note that California currently ranks 45th in the nation for per pupil spending. And we also are able to come together and provide funding for local measures, like Measure A. And I'm pleased to announce tonight that TTEA applied for a grant from CTA, and CTA approved our grant, and we're able to give the Measure A campaign $1,500. So I'd like to invite Donna